faster and faster. I felt my body tumble and fall through the dark into an unknown oblivion. I tried to grasp at anything to catch me, to stop me. I eventually woke up, holding on to Damien as I refocused my vision. I was back in my room. I had landed and awoken before I felt the impact. Or perhaps the impact woke me up. My grip on his shirt woke Damien from his sleep, gasping and looking to me.
God, what happened? What's wrong?
Damien.
I instinctively wrapped my arms around him, needing to feel him physically. It wasn't enough to see or hear him, but the feeling of his body being in my arms reassured my mind that he was okay, and that he was here with me, alive. Damien looked at me and wrapped his arms around me, letting out a small sigh and nuzzling me softly.
Another nightmare?
I could only nod against his shoulder. I was quivering in his arms, but I was thankful that everything was okay. My dream was just that, a dream. I sighed and kissed his cheek softly, silently apologizing. Damien held me close for such a long time, understanding my need to feel simply him. Yes, he didn't pull away, nor did he speak. He simply held me and gently nuzzled me to help me fully come down from my fear. I felt his hands gently pet my hair, aiding my shift from sadness to a relaxing calm. Everything was fine. Everything was okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep getting these nightmares.
You can't control your dreams.
My memories flashed back to the first time he said that to me. It was the day right after we met. He had saved me from my nightmare of Malix. I got a smile across my cheeks as I looked at him.
I accidentally called my coworker Malix the other day. His name's Malik, and I accidentally called him Malix.
Oh no. Oh no.
Who let me live?
Well, that's embarrassing.
You told me that when we first met.
Damien gently pulled away and smiled at me, kissing my cheek.
I did, didn't I? You remember that?
I nodded.
I remember everything.
I nodded. I never wanted to forget how we had met. He and his brothers came to the human world and arrived at my house. You know, arrived at my house. You know. That's a way of putting it. Where I got to be with them and learn about them. At the same time, I was able to become close to Damien and fall in love with him. Yes, there were some bumps along the way, like, you know, getting almost murdered and shit, but we were able to get through them. We were even able to give Damien something he desperately wanted, to be human. Damien gently caressed my cheek, inviting me to nuzzle into his palm, and he smiled down at me as he laid his forehead against mine.
No matter what comes our way, I promise to protect you and love you for the rest of my life.
You'll never leave me?
Damien shook his... Damien shook his head and I believed him. His simple smile was enough for me to understand that he was telling the absolute truth. He wouldn't leave me, and I would never leave him. There's a lot of nuzzling in this game. I nuzzled my nose to his, looking up into his beautiful eyes.
You don't regret not being a demon anymore?
He shook his head again. I knew he was beyond happy to be human, but the nightmares made me worry over and over without relenting. I knew was worrying over nothing.
What?
But more than anything... That's not me messing up this time, that's in the writing. But more than anything else, I wanted Damien to be happy. I couldn't help but worry. Nope, that's fireworks. I slowly tilted my head up and captured his lips with mine, kissing him ever so softly. He returned my kiss, his arms tightening around my body. My worries slowly began to melt and drift away as he held me. I could feel my body slowly draw closer to Damien's, craving more of his touch. My fingers gently traveled up to his shoulders and ran throughout his hair, brushing through the strands lovingly. He shivered at my touch, making me tremble in response. The thing was, I had just awoken from a nightmare. Was it really right to really feel like this right now?
I mean, why not?
Sure, why not? My mind questioned my body's intentions, and my body ignored every logical reason. My mind decided to put a stop to the situation. I had to listen to one or the other.
You just watched your almost husband die in front of your face. Of course she wants to, like, feel him and make sure that he's, like, real. Like, that kind of feeling, you know?
It makes sense, make sense. But, which one are we going to listen to?
Listen to the bode.
Listen to the bode. Oh boy.
Have fun.
Why did I do this? I need a moment. Something in my body was calling for Damien, and I didn't care about what I had just witnessed. I was attracted to him, and needed more of him. It was crazy, but I didn't care.
It's not crazy. It makes sense.
I was in love, and also deep in lust. That's a weird way of putting it, Laundry. Oh boy. I slowly dragged my hands down and began to undo his shirt, needing to feel his bare chest with my fingers. In response, Damien dipped his hands under my shirt and up my back, and I shivered in delight as they reached my spine. I couldn't help but moan against the lips as his touch, and loving how his fingers teasingly and lovingly ran down my back. As his chest was bared to me, I ran my fingertips over his toned skin as I arched my back towards him. Damien smirked slightly against my lips, and he reached further under my wrong garment, discovering that I wasn't wearing a bra.
You were sleeping! Nobody wears a bra when they're sleeping!
Surprise!
They've lived together for like 2 years!
I am so surprised that you are not wearing a bra right now when you are sleeping, and we have been together for 2 years and are going to get married. Feeling my bare skin where the clasp would be, I opened my eyes, watching him stare down at me with a loving, yet lust-filled gaze. Just his stare made me weak in his arms, and made me moan once again against his lips, and swoon into his arms.
Okay.
What?
just at that line.
Damien, okay, let me just start all this over. Damien moved his hands away so that he could fully remove his shirt from his body before helping me out of mine, pulling away from the kiss to do so. I whimpered at the loss, but I knew it had to be done. As Damien gathered me back into his arms, I wrapped my arms around his neck, needing to be close to him. He became much more daring whenever we were about to make love. It was almost like a complete character change whenever passion took over. He knew what he was doing, and he knew exactly where to hold me to make me melt against him. Oh boy, I saw the magic word. And I saw a very unmagic... Oh my god. This is not sexy.
Shall we begin the skip-a-thon?
Look, I have to at least get through this paragraph, my dude. Just to reiterate, I'm gonna put an emphasis on everything here that's not sexy. Damien slowly ran his hands down my back and slipped them under the hem of my pants and panties, gripping to my bare rear and massaging each cheek oh so lovingly. I pulled away from his kiss and moaned out into the air between us, gripping his shoulders at the feeling. It wasn't helping that the heat and need in my core were flaring to have him take me. As he I'm trying. It's just such an ugly word. groped my ass. It made my nerves jump and shake in desire.
What the hell?
I looked up at Damien with half-lidded eyes, feeling my desire increase with each press of his fingers and palm. He had a small smirk on his lips, and I licked my own at the sight. Damien gently leaned in and nipped at my mouth, biting my lower lip and sending pleasurable waves down my body into my already tightening core. As he released it, he leaned his forehead against mine, staring deep into my eyes.
Are you sure you want to do this? I don't think I'll be able to stop myself if we continue.
Why do people always say that?
I don't like when people say that. Like, you can stop yourself, you know.
You can always stop yourself.
Anyone can stop themselves. I didn't want to hear it. I grabbed his head and pulled him back into a passionate kiss, needing to stop him from suggesting that we stop. I didn't want to stop. I wanted him. Damien took the hint and kissed me back just as deeply. He dug his fingers into my skin, making me arch my back further and grind against him in need like we in the club. I want to make love in this club. In this club. It's an Usher song.
I know.
I was drowning in desire. I needed him immediately. Not fast enough. He had removed the remainder of my clothes from our bodies.
Christ.
What? What?
The second line.
Okay, let's find out. Oh my god. I read it, you know what happened? I read it in, I read it in Malk, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Malk's voice.
Uh-huh.
But I think the line I was thinking of was actually supposed to be Yami Bakura, and we were making sweet and passionate love. Our breaths and moans echoing through the room shamelessly and relentlessly. Good thing we don't have neighbors. Each word we let out became a declaration of love, of pleasure, of eternal bliss between us as we rocked on the mattress passionately. My fingers danced and dragged themselves across his skin, leaving lovely red marks in their wake. We didn't need demon enthrallment to feel immense pleasure between us. We made each other feel perfect as humans, and that was all that mattered when we held each other. Alright, girl. Soon our moans became harder and louder, driving us.
Oh, are we still going?
Yes. Am I supposed to not go?
No.
No?
No.
Why
keep
didn't
going.
you tell me?
No, I didn't say we're not supposed to not go.
Look, I'm gonna see it through unless it kills me. It might kill me, we don't know. I think Eric's will kill me. Driving alongside our pleasure and ecstasy, my fingernails began to dig into his skin and onto the bed sheets as I began to apex and rush over my highest point. You can just say orgasm, girl, it's okay. Like, apex makes me think of Apex Predator. As I finally passed through the peak of my I can't do this. Hold on. As I finally passed through the peak of my pleasure, so did he, and we were both blissful and warm. We slowly melted into the afterglow of our sex and cuddled with each other, not wanting to lose the warmth between our bodies. Our sex was part of how we expressed our love to each other, and we didn't want to lose any bit of it. Damien cradled me in his arms and kissed my forehead before kissing me on the lips gently.
I am yours, forever.
And I'm yours.
It wasn't long before I closed my eyes and fell into sleep again. All I do is sleep, 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 sleep. This time I was able to float in a blissful darkness, uninterrupted. Soon, days went by, passing forward in almost hyperdrive until a couple of days before the wedding. Oh! Okay, that's a lot of days. That's like months. That's because they're just talking about wedding preparation.
Hyperdrive.
Traveling fast makes me
feel alive.
Heart beats
in hyperdrive.
Oh my god. Soon days went by, passing forward in almost hyperdrive until a couple of days before the wedding. Damien and I worked hard after our rest day to make everything perfect, and we were positive that nothing could go wrong. Well, that's where you went wrong. Don't say that. The boys picked him up, leaving me alone to get into my wedding dress and wait for my limo to arrive to drive me to the wedding hall.
Is that how weddings work?
No. Leaving me alone? Shouldn't she have bridesmaids and stuff?
Yeah. No bride just is by herself. I mean, unless she has no family or friends.
Just like putting on your wedding dress, singing that. I was nervous that I needed to prep everything on my own without interruption. I got into my dress, finished getting ready, and wound up staring at myself in the mirror in awe. I was in my dream wedding gown, looking as I had always imagined I'd look like getting married. The one thing that made it special was that I was marrying. I stopped myself. Damien wasn't a demon. He was a human.
Aren't you so proud
Bitch, get off my
of
dick.
yourself?
What the fuck is happening? Huh?
I looked around, suddenly hearing Diana's voice in the air. Just hearing her ask that one question filled the air with dark and menacing tension. However, it was impossible. How was she here?
Diana? Where are you?
You didn't answer my question.
Why should I? Show yourself.
As I looked, oh, hi.
What the?
Hello there. As I looked in the mirror, I gasped. Instead of my reflection, I saw a dark shadow with gold eyes staring at me. I would know those cruel eyes anywhere.
Diana.
How does it feel to be inches away from marrying the man of your dreams?
Why should I tell you anything? Why are you here?
A frisky bridezilla, aren't you?
What?
What?
A frisky bridezilla!
What does this have to do with being a bridezilla? A bridezilla is like, my wedding needs to be perfect. If you don't do it perfectly with a 14-karat ring and white peonies for the flowers, and if you give me pink peonies, I will bite your neck off.
A frisky bridezilla!
I think it's
that's a line for the tombstone.
Look, just bridezillas don't act like that, alright? I should know.
Answer me!
Tell me first. How do you feel now that Damien's no longer who he was?
Who he... what?
Remember, he was born a demon.
I don't know.
And you took that away from him. Well,
but he wanted us to.
I did anyway. At your request, of course.
He wanted to be human.
This was insane. Why was I arguing with her when she was just a shadow in the mirror? Diana let out a dark laugh.
You don't even know who you're marrying, do you?
What the fuck are you even
The
saying?
human who was a demon. What's next? Will he demand to be a woman instead? He could easily be one. Oh, wait. He can't because he no longer has the ability to do so.
Alright, Diana,
himself.
now you're just being a transphobic shit.
Why do you care? He can do what he wants.
But do you even know what he wants? I want to go to the human world. I want to be human. Tell me, can you give him everything he wants? I want my mother back. I want to forget that I was ever a demon. I want to forget I was even born.
Well, that got dark.
Alright, honey, you need to chill out. You don't know-
Stop it!
Oh boy, I couldn't take it any longer. I grabbed the lamp on my nightstand and lifted it, ready to smash the mirror to pieces. However, as I looked back at the mirror, it only showed my reflection. Diana was gone.
Did we just pull an Azula?
I knew it. I knew it. That girl has demon magic.
What?
Who were you?
What the?
Then quit talking and let's take her. The demon lord will be so pleased.
Oh,
Who?
great. Before I could turn to search for the voices, I felt hands grab hold of my feet, and I looked down and lifted my dress. 2 pairs of
good!
Had taken hold of my ankles, reaching through a dark red and purple pentagram. I shrieked, trying to pull my legs away. It was like a bird.
Caw, motherfucker.
But couldn't stop them as they swiftly pulled me into the ground. This is the worst way to have your wedding ruined. I was pulled deeper into the darkness. I was no longer in my room. I was being dragged through a dark void, one that I couldn't escape. I reached out and clawed at the dark, trying to find something to grab onto. I tried to pull my legs away from the hands that were holding them, but couldn't pull free. What was going on? Why was this happening? I say for the 50th time!
Someone help me!
As if someone had heard my screams, I suddenly felt the hands let go and disappear, leaving me to float in the darkness they left me in. I shut my eyes. Please let this be a dream. Please let this be a dream. I finally felt a surface under my feet and I collapsed onto it, my body curling in on itself from the experience I had. I didn't dare tear my eyes away from my lap, not ready to get up just yet. The voice I heard, however, made my heart stop.
You. What are you doing here?
Hey, Di.
Hey, Diana, what's up, bitch?